Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, Edmond.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Edmond.
Good morning to you.
What do you want tonight?
Make your point.
You see what we just narrate now is what is killing our country. Over there, 1987, my uncle, when local government chairman in this Ibadan, inside for this occupied side, side, you know what they do? They poison the man. How can an Igbo man be a local government chairman in this Ibadan? It is what is barbaric, what is killing us. And I don't know when this thing will stop. Edmond, good morning.
Good morning. The lines are open.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The great Edmond. Compliment of this season, rather. Nice hearing your voice on the radio this morning. I'm Oluwabimga calling from Akimwari. I carefully listened to you and the write-off you read for all from the book written by Lee Kuan Yew, the great leader of Singapore. What we are lacking in Nigeria system, in Nigeria system of today, is someone like Lee Kuan Yew. Now, the readiness and telecity we find in the life of that leader, of that great leader, Lee Kuan Yew, we don't have it in our leader. The spirit of readiness, passion for the development of the country, of a state. That's what is lacking in our leader of today, from the local government to the national level. We don't have interest of the masses, we don't have the interest of our nation, but rather we pursue our own interest. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Good morning.
Edmond. Sonyolu Adeyemo from Odona Pata. It might not have happened, but it happened during the time of Adidibu. He used a Hebrew guy as a counselor in Southwest, Ibadan Southwest. It's somebody like a good leader like Adidibu. And we're still looking for some kind of leader like that. You can still see a exemplary of him in the life of the state governor. But I called your station 2 years ago. I said we need a nation where I'm a Yoruba, my Ibadan born, that I can go to Southeast in Anambra, Undemili local government, and establish and have a land, and I will be accompanied
with language and our culture. It's so you people that impose Nigeria on us, and they impose it on for a very faulty foundation. Are you getting me? That's why the settlement, that's why we believe in our tribes, in our ethnicity, than being a nationalist, than being a Nigerian. I'm Yoruba to the core. If I gave Igbo people a chance to rule here in the Southwest here, would they give me a chance in the Southeast to be their local government chairman or councillor? They will never allow that. That's why, because the foundation that we written from the Westerner was very faulty. Thank you. Once again.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
I was trying to make a point.
Your line is not clear.
The problem that we have in Nigeria is because, number one, our laws do not permit all this that we are talking about. Until we have a leader that we upgrade as a Lee Kuan Yew that we mentioned about, and that is ready to address issues or point blank without any sentiment, that we go into it really, that this intentional thing that we want to achieve. Because presently, our people's minds are not as matured. Somebody wants to come to Yoruba land because as an expansionist agenda, this from a Fulani man or an Igbo person. And whereas in Igbo land, they also find defending their region against other people that they won't allow them to come in there. So if we have a national law, a law that permits and that makes everybody to see, that makes everyone to see themselves as one, not ethnic based system that we are currently attacking. So we just need to be patient. I believe that these administration are coming to because the other time I think on this program that
all right, we can't go beyond this. That call is not too clear. Thank you. I tried. I just wanted him to make his point, but that call.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
The Integrity Station. Stay tuned.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live. Stay tuned. State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Can you tell me briefly your role when you were the Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters with regard to the installation of the Alaafin?
It's not a brief thing. It's a long story. A man had actually been appointed Alaafin for you, and we had to cancel the appointment.
Who was that man?
His name was Sanda Ladipo Oralola.
Is he still alive?
He's dead. But you see, it was corruptly obtained. It was obtained by duress, and it was corruptly obtained by duress because government used a heavy hand.
So how were you able to intervene?
Now it was largely the decision of General Gawan and General Adebayo, whom he persuaded. What happened is that there is a template with which you analyze these ruling house chieftaincies. Nearly all the chieftaincies in Yoruba land are ruling house chieftaincies except Ibadan, which is approximately promotional. I say approximately because it's not entirely promotional, because there can be some skipping and leapfrogging. But in the case of a ruling house chieftaincy, like the Alaafin for you, Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. Stage 1 is the nomination of candidates. Candidate or candidates in plural. Stage 2 is the appointment. And Stage 3 is the approval. Stage 1, nomination by the family whose turn it is. Stage 2, appointment by the kingmakers. Stage 3, approval by the government.
So was this Alaafin selected?
This particular, you mean the
present Alaafin?
Oh yes, he was selected by 5 votes to 2. The kingmakers are the Oyomesi. So he was selected by 5 votes to 2.
He was a young man then.
31, an insurance clerk. And the commissioner was 35, a lecturer.
And government speedily approved.
It was not speedy. The vacancy occurred on the 25th of February 1968. The approval, the filling of the vacancy was on the 14th of January 1971.
About 3 years.
About 3 years. What happened, is that there is a declaration governing the appointment of the Alaafin for you. It was made during the Awolowo regime. signed by D.S. Adegbenro, who fortunately was in the cabinet when the present Alafin was appointed. In the days in 1958 when he signed the thing, he was commissioner for chieftaincy, minister of chieftaincy. But by the time we appointed the present Alafin, he was the commissioner for finance.
Did Awolowo kick against his appointment?
Yes. Awolowo sponsored the other man. So this is what happened. At every stage of the process, government interfered. The nastiest part of it was that after the family was, the head of the family had a candidate himself. And who is that candidate? His own son. And this declaration allows for a multiplicity of candidates. Every time they hold a family meeting, he forwards to the kingmaker only the name of his son. Inquiry. That Judicial Commission of Inquiry then sent up a majority report saying, indeed, there was only one candidate nominated. Then there was a minority report written by the Secretary of the Judicial Inquiry. And that fellow is nobody else than Michael Ogundare, who rose through the ranks to become a judge of the Supreme Court and who delivered the lead judgment in that resources case, onshore dichotomy. That's where he ended up in the Supreme Court. But he wrote that this exercise should be started all over again.
Was that when Gowon intervened?
Yes, Gowon then intervened.
Remember it.
Were you praying? Did you pray? Did you call on Bola again to see you?
I pray to God. And each time I'm praying, I will start by first of all saying that if I ever knew anything about the death of Uncle Bola, or anybody for that matter, I will not come out of this alive. And at a point, my wife was arrested again, rearrested again, and brought to Alagma.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
You said Ige finally agreed to serve when he was given the go-ahead by our movement, Afenifere, yes, and our party, the Alliance for Democracy, yes, AD. Yeah. It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death, you wrote. Yeah. It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death.
When he did, I said so because one evening he just called me and said, I'm going to resign from this government tomorrow. It was sudden. And I said, please, sir, I will come back to you. And I called Oluwalero Timi. I called him. I said, this is what your friend told me, that he was going to resign from Obasanjo's government tomorrow. He asked me to advise him not to resign. If he does, he's likely going to die.
He said that?
He said that to me on phone.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
Umishore could not help you.
He was the deputy governor, was a suspect. He couldn't even reach us. Who is he to help us? When is the problem? When he was in problem? It was after his tenure expired, or they did kangaroo impeachment, that he was arrested. After we were spent about 1 year in cell. We have already been moved to Agodi Church to court before Omishore was arrested.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
I've heard of the Ijebu Four.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Ijebu Four?
Yes, I know. Yeah, if I remember their name, Papa Laniwa Ajayi, Papa Ayo Adebanjo, Papa Onasanya, and Papa Abraham Adesanya. I don't know the position of Abraham Adesanya. To me, he's an honest leader, but a little weak because the other three always seems to choke him.
So those were the three main oppositions to Bola Ige.
To Bola Ige.
In Afenifere.
In Afenifere. They were those three I know of. Then they employed some foot soldiers like Okuromu, like Shonibare, and a few others like that. They have some foot soldiers, among us.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
He called the place Lion Building to make a statement to the police. I made a request that they should do fingerprinting of his clothes, because those people rough handled him. It was said they touched his clothes before he was shot, but I don't think that was ever done. So if no fingerprinting was done, the certainty of knowing who did the job could not be achieved.
He was a great thinker, right?
Extraordinary man. Extraordinary man. You can never get tired of Bola Ige. And having known him, you cannot remain the same.
Do we still have such political leaders?
I'm not in search of anyone.
Why are you not searching?
One Bola Ige is enough for a lifetime.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
You were eventually discharged and acquitted.
Yes, because there's nothing to link. There's no nexus that connects us with the death of Uncle Bola. People don't know that at the time they brought in FBI from United States to come and interrogate us. They interrogated us and gave us a clean slate. FBI.
White guys?
Yeah, Federal Bureau of Investigation from New York.
So Obasanjo investigated?
Yes, to the point that there was a lot of pressure on him. Sometimes I pity him, sometimes I don't pity him.
Why?
Because he has to stand to truth.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
He moved that Bola Ige should not be allowed to join, and nobody supported the motion.
But why should Bola Ige join a government led by the so-called enemy of his leader, Obafemi Awolowo?
Buhari sent me to prison. I'm now in APC with him.
No permanent enemy?
No, well, you are doing politics to win elections.
Why will Bola Ige join the government of a man you described as evil spirit?
Look, I said the party asked him to join.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
And for those people in Africa and elsewhere who look on Rawlings and his acolytes as being revolutionaries, I think they are misguided. If they lived in the country and they knew the conditions under which the general populace lived, I don't think they would be making that assertion. And indeed, when the National Reconciliation Commission, which was formed by President John Kufuor when he took over from Rawlings in 2000, when he set up that National Reconciliation to investigate human rights abuses in the country, the report stated in one of the chapters that the 112 days that the AFRC, the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council, led by Jerry Rawlings, the 112 days they ruled the country was a period when life was solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. And that is in only 112 days. And there was a murderous rampage and sheer terror, the like of which has never been seen before.
State Affairs with Edmond Bilo is live.
In furtherance of the points made so far, mind you, you heard the voices of Chief Bisi Akonde, former governor of Osun State, Jalili Adesina, former minister of police affairs, Dare Babarinsa, renowned journalist, and you heard the voice of Esther Odate Wellington, talking about the mindset that laid the foundation of Nigeria. I want to read from Awolowo's book. Awolowo will help us understand the mindset of that time. He said one day, the Saudana, after a series of public meetings and rallies, stopped at a catering rest house to have lunch. He took out his handkerchief, sneezed into it, and found that his nostrils were filled with dust. He looked at the handkerchief with obvious dismay, shook his head, and said in a voice that carried the depth of his feeling of utter revulsion and resolution, "I shall never forgive Chief Awolowo for this." Awo says, with the inimitable Saudana himself mounting the rostrum to appeal to those he regarded as his own serfs for votes, all the members of the hierarchy, including the then incumbent Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, lost no time in following his example. We of the Action Group regarded this reaction as a very welcome and salutary augury for democratic practice in Nigeria. However, for the entire feudal hierarchy, all that was too much for them, and they too must have vowed, like the Saudana Ahmadu Bello, never to forgive Awolowo. You know, Awolowo calls Ahmadu Bello and friends feudal hierarchy, feudalism. That means Awolowo argues that the North was built on a foundation of feudalism, where the poor has no value. It is only the elite that makes the point. That means it's not a society aiming at equality. So Awolowo said he came to destroy that feudal foundation, and that was why he went to the North to campaign, and that provoked Ahmadu Bello, who was then forced out to come out and campaign. Ahmadu Bello felt that by campaigning, Awolowo had humiliated him, because before then, the Southerners never came out to campaign. Campaign to who now? And that tells you about the structure, the social structure that defines Nigeria. If you read further, I'm reading from the book, The Travails of Democracy and the Rule of Law. It is a primary text in this class. So Awolowo goes on to make a point. He says a report in the Sunday Express of 20th December 1959 at page 2 summed up the attitude of mind of the northern hierarchy. So Awolowo reproduces that report in his book, and the report reads, I shall divide Nigeria into two and hand them over to my lieutenant. Sir Ahmadu Bello contended that MPC, that is the Northern People's Congress, Sir Ahmadu Bello contended that MPC's new decision is to invade the South politically. And that was a reply to the recent invasion of the North by Southern political parties. A caller made the point, Ahmadu Bello didn't see himself as a Nigerian, really. That was why, despite the opportunity to become the Prime Minister of Nigeria, because he was the leader of the MPC, so automatically he should have been the Prime Minister to govern the whole of Nigeria. He refused to be Prime Minister. Instead, he told his deputy, Balewa, to go and be Prime Minister. He wanted to remain in the North because he believed the power was in the North, not in Nigeria. So what he did was to control Tafawa Balewa from the North. That was his base. And in that base, he was the Lord. Because he was the Lord, his words were laws. And he didn't want anybody to penetrate his base. And Awolowo provoked him by coming to his base to campaign, to rile his people, forcing him to now come out to convince his people that he remains their leader. That was a mindset at the time. And that mindset eventually led to the Civil War. Let's finish the report. So the report says that Ahmadu Bello cited a portion in the Quran which says, "You have come to our home, and from now on we shall be taking the battle to your house." Sir Ahmadu Bello claimed that, like his great-grandfather, Shehu Othman Dan Fodio, who he said after his conquest divided the conquered country between two sons, I too, after conquering the South, will also divide Nigeria into two to be taken charge of by two of my lieutenants. The report continues. Ahmadu Bello said that the South had already been handed over to Alhaji Abubakar, the Prime Minister, and added that before his resignation from politics, he would appoint another lieutenant to take over the administration of the North. He presented a cloak of authority to Balewa. That means, in this report, Ahmadu Bello felt that they were already in the process of capturing the South, because by this time, Akintola had aligned with them, or was going to align with them. Perhaps they have seen the sign. And that South he will hand over to Balewa. So the ambition was for the North to control the South. And Awolowo was not going to have it. He was going to go to the North and convince Northerners to accept him too as their leader. So Awo continues on page 3. In the course of the long-drawn electioneering campaign, many atrocities and acts of intolerance were committed by Ahmadu Bello's MPC against members of the action group. I will cite only 6 examples. In the first incident, an organizing secretary of the action group was mercilessly beaten on the orders of a Sokoto prince and abandoned as dead. The victim later recovered in the Sokoto General Hospital under the attention of an expatriate doctor. A report was made to the Native Authority Police, who turned a deaf ear, and to the Nigerian Police Force, who truly confessed their inability to take action because the area where the crime was committed, Sokoto City, was outside their jurisdiction. Mr. Tanin, who led the AG team of lawyers posted to Sokoto province, was instructed by the AG to institute private prosecution. He did, and the prince involved was convicted by an expatriate magistrate and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment with hard labor. The prince appealed to the High Court and was in the interim granted bail. In due course, the appeal was heard and dismissed. In connection with that incident, the expatriate magistrate who tried the case in the first instance and the expatriate doctor who testified to the condition of the victim when he was brought to the hospital for treatment left Nigeria for good within a month or so of the conviction and sentence of the culprit. The High Judge, Sir Brown, who heard the appeal and dismissed it, committed suicide by shooting himself, also within about a fortnight of his adjudication of the appeal. Are you there? Now, Awolowo has described the first incident, and the judges who gave judgment found their ways out of the country. Sir Brown committed suicide. If he committed suicide, what happens to the politics? So this demonstrates the kind of politics we played. Awolowo went to the north to campaign. Ahmadu Bello didn't want it. Zik made inroad in the western region. He made inroad in the western region. The NCNC was popular in the western region. But when it mattered most, that cross-carpeting that happened. If we want to run a defined ethnic state, we should define it and stop pretending. And stop pretending that we are one, that we are citizens. If we want to run an ethnic state, let's define it to your tent, all Israel. We can run an ethnic state to your tent, all Israel. Then we know we are running an ethnic state. You can't call me a citizen and segregate against me. If we want an ethnic state, to your tent, O Israel, and let's stop pretending. If we want to run a country for all, a country for citizens, let's state it. Citizens and nothing else. No indigenship, citizenship. They both cannot go together. It's either we are citizens or we are indigents. Let's choose. The lines are open. Are there lessons to take from Awolowo's book that I just read? 070694 93000 070144 75770. The lines are open. 070694 93000. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, I can hear that caller. Please, thank you. Okay, let me say to our hearing. So when you are calling a radio station, turn down the volume of your radio set. And when your caller speaks, you always know, you see it begins to count. At that point, you should turn down the volume of your radio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm Deborah from Ibadan.
Good morning.
With all you have narrated to us, we know Nigeria from onset is not fit to be a nation. And one thing I want us to know is that when in 2014, we were told that Nigeria has expired. And anything that has expired has no benefits again. What I want us to know now is that, is there anything tangible that you can derive from this country? Now we know that it has expired. Look at the security and economy, education, health from all sorts.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. On the front page of the Nation. Good morning.
Good morning. Aaron God's Power, my name.
Good.
A citizen of Nigeria and not an indigent. I love your take this morning, Mr. Edmund Obilo. I'm a fan. I'm a true believer of Nigeria, sir. And I've been born in this country more than 37 years ago. What can the youth do to retrace all the steps that our, let me know you the word so-called, they are our fathers who could make mistakes. But how can we get it wrong? How can we get it right is my question. I'm willing to be a part of the team that will bring this country back to track. Because we are learning history. We are students of history in your class. Yes, I am a student of history in your class. And I love what I'm hearing. So I want us to wake up the youth. Let them not be biased. As I'm telling you, as I'm talking to you now, sir, I'm a victim of segregation. I'm from Akwa Ibom, born in Ibadan. But when it comes to important issue, where we have to come together and make something work, maybe in the community or in the state, we are pushed back. Okay, so more Ibadan. But I've contributed a lot of things here. My people don't even know me in Akwa Ibom. What I'm saying in essence is, so far I'm in Nigeria and I'm a Nigerian. I can contribute my quota from any angle. So all these things is separating us. It's not making things work. Number one thing is our unity. How do we get this unity back? How do we preach this word to the ones that are coming? Because if we don't get it right now, it's going to get worse in times to come. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Sadoyi Modagbe.
Yes. She just listened at the question of the X-Men and the mystery AK-47 that cannot go around. Even security cannot have it. Why the not stakeholder having it? That's what I want to interrogate this morning. Because I'm becoming worried that one that this not stakeholder going to carry AK-47 and you have Amateko and the rest, they are armless. They carry the unsophisticated guns and yet they cannot fight the enemy. Does it mean this is playing out because of the way Nigeria is structured, particularly from the Fulani perspective, who also have a very strong political interest in the country? that is why I also asked, did the late president have an arrangement with Tinubu that this area is no-go area? I believe that now, because we are not winning the war, the enemy are more ready, are better ready than the regular security agents. So I'm asking now that even Makinde, when he went to Abuja, what did he tell the president? Because also complained that he need sword weapons. So this, I'm very confused. I don't know who are we going to get it right. America will soon go, and the insecurity remain with us. How do we fortify our security from state to region so that we can defeat the enemy? Thank you very much.
On the front page of The Nation, Kanu Governor, 8 reps, 44 local government chairmen dump NNPP. 21 House of Assembly members, others also exit. Cite persistent internal crisis, leadership dispute. Kaduna mass abduction, how I escaped from our attackers, victim speaks. Fubara impeachment, court suspends order restraining Rivers CJ. Refuses perpetual injunction stopping CJ from acting on Assembly's request, adjourns indefinitely. Amewule, others head to Court of Appeal. You find that rider on the front page of The Nation. Travails of farmers forced off their farmlands by miners, herders in Niger. Husband, wife reputed for closeness die within an hour of each other. Federal government restores electricity generation to 608 megawatts after grid collapse. The grid will always collapse. Collapsing grid. It's a peculiar mess. On the front page of the Saturday Vanguard, killings, abductions soar after U.S. airstrikes. Killings and abductions rise after U.S. airstrikes. Terrorists kill 183. Abduct 366 in 27 days. Nigerians beg U.S. to sustain its attacks on terrorists. Say one airstrike not enough to end insurgency. Why you can't compare Wizkid with Fela? Kanu Governor Yusuf finally joins APC. Tinubu's economic policies yielding dividends, Senator Arishe. Fubara is APC leader in Rivers. You find those headlines on the front page of the Saturday Vanguard. Let's bring in Professor Tony Falola in this interview. Okay. Now, in this interview, Falola reflects deeply on the present situation in the country. What is he talking about? It takes us into the lessons of history. Tony Falola is a distinguished teaching professor and holder of the Francis and Jacob Sanga Mosiko Chair in the Humanities at the University of Texas at Austin, United States of America. In this discourse, he offers a sweeping historical and political reading of Donald Trump's Christmas Day bombing of Sokoto and what it signals for Nigeria-U.S. relations. Falola situates the strike within a broader pattern of American power projection, arguing that Trump's interest is ultimately transactional. Access to what? To strategic resources in exchange for political backing. In Falola's reading, Nigeria becomes a bargaining space where President Bola Tinubu may find alignment with United States interest useful for regime stability at home. So this conversation also turns to the internationalization of Nigeria's internal questions. Falola reviews how Biafran lobbyists are intensifying pressure on Trump, framing Igbo political aspirations within United States policy debate and diaspora politics. Tony Falola on State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmond Nubilo is live.
Actually.
So you see, the cabinet itself was
divided.
12 candidates, 6 in the Awolowo wing, 6 of us in the NCNC wing. The 6 of us were pro-Akintola and NCNC. The 6 of Awolowo were Bisi Onabanjo, Bola Ige, what do you call him? Omishade, B.A. Ajayi, and so on.
And the military governor was?
The military governor was Colonel Adebayo.
The Akintola faction prevailed?
No, not at first. At first, the Awolowo faction prevailed. Then he made a decree that indeed there was only one candidate. Then this one candidate was sent to the kingmakers, the Oyomesis. The Oyomesis refused to appoint the one single candidate. They refused to appoint the one single candidate. They said they are not. So they were taken to government house and threatened that they will be shot if they do not, appoint the only candidate placed before them. So then, led by Isuola Akanwo, the Basharon of Oyo, they then said that they are prepared to die, but there is only one request they want. They want their corpses to be handed back to their families, and that they are not going to sign anything. So at that stage, Section 13 of the Chief's Law, Cap 19 of the laws of Western Nigeria were invoked. When the kingmakers are recalcitrant, you can replace them by warrant chiefs. But the government did it in a very silly way. The 5 who voted for Lamidi, whose name was not on the ballot, 5 voted for a man who was not on the ballot. 2 voted for the only man on the ballot. They retained the 2 kingmakers. No other one else than Ashikpa and Laguna. And the 5 who voted against the one candidate, they replaced them with village chiefs. And the meeting took 15 minutes. All 7 of them voted for the one single candidate and declared him the Alaafin of Oyo. They then sent his paper on the 4th of September 1969. They sent his papers to the government for the government to approve. The thing remained there. Kola Balogun acted for some time, and then Gowon decided that there should be a cabinet reshuffle, and that I, whom General Gowon always called me our troubleshooter, should be the one posted there. And I was posted there, and I studied the matter and found that those warrant kingmakers, the greatest insult is to remove the kingmakers. You prevent some 10 people from vying. They have the right to have their names on the ballot sent to the kingmakers. And then eventually when the kingmakers do not play ball, you then remove the kingmakers and replace them by warrant chiefs from villages. Ilekwe of Isheke, Agwo, and so on. So, I then invoke Section 21 of the Chief's Law, which states, if my memory serves me, because I committed that into memory at the time, when an appointment has been made, notwithstanding that an appointment has been made under this law in accordance with the provisions of this law and the approved and registered declaration pertaining thereto, the government may approve the said appointment or set aside the said appointment if it is satisfied that it can do so in the interest of peace, order, and good government. And then I took a memorandum to the Executive Council that all told, reviewing on December 18, 1970, reviewing all the processes, all the people who are prevented from vying, the forcing of only one candidate on the kingmakers, the threat on the kingmakers, the removal of the kingmakers and replacement by warrant chiefs who are not the traditional kingmakers or Yomisi. That in view, and also the exercise is vitiated by the fact that the secretary of the competent council, who is supposed to be to trigger out the thing, is not the one who handled it. The whole thing is null, void, and of no effect, and that the council should so approve.
So the process started again.
So the process then started again in accordance with the law and the rules, and all the rules were followed. They were all advertised, and then all the rules were followed one by one, and then the final cabinet meeting was taken to review the whole exercise. During the review of the whole exercise by the cabinet, General Adebayo locked the cabinet chambers. Food was provided and access to toilets, but no telephones and no access with anybody outside. The GOC, the Commissioner of Police, the head of the security, it was called NSO or something at that time, E-branch. All those are there, and all the commissioners, no permanent secretaries. And then, for the first time, General Adebayo imposed a condition that everybody must speak. Each person must speak and speak to the point. Nobody should abstain. You have to speak and say what you think of the memo. The memo was secretly constructed. It was not constructed inside the ministry. So when they spoke, the first person who was asked to speak was the GOC. He spoke and spoke in favor of Lamidi Adeyemi. The next person was the Commissioner of Police. He spoke and did the same similarly. Then the security, NSO, he spoke and spoke in the same way. Then the commissioners. The oldest of the commissioners was a good old action group man, Dauda Shoroye Adigbenro, who was Awolowo's closest man. So Adigbenro then started to speak and said if he wanted to use political considerations, he will take a decision one way. But as a good Muslim and as an honest man, and looking at the exercise, the transparency with which the exercise that he is voting for Lamidi Adeyemi. At that stage, there is a cabinet meeting. General Adebayo almost burst into tears.
Trump struck in Sokoto. Is Sokoto significant?
Well, people have argued that North West is the most significant area. So we are not privy to his calculation, but we can guess. First, power creates signals and symbolism that I stay on the Gulf of Guinea. I'm not even close to Nigeria, and I can attack you. That's symbolism. That's a signal that when I'm ready to go anywhere, you cannot stop me. Second, and this is a very painful analysis, we are not sure that the federal government was telling the truth when it said it knew about it. They said they collaborated, but they made a small mistake, which is that they have intelligence. If the Tinubu government has intelligence, why couldn't he use it himself?
Perhaps he doesn't have the precision weapons to do that.
Well, he has an army, he can move an army.
He doesn't want to move a ground force in there. Fire for fire.
Well, that is his country. Because once you have once you say you have the intelligence.
I'm just thinking aloud.
Yeah, if you have the intelligence, your intelligence will tell you how strong the army is. It can be stronger than the Nigerian army. But and Tinubu may say, okay, if Trump is doing my job for me, why will he not be grateful? Because if it's true that he's also looking for those people and somebody helps you to destroy them, you play a double game. You remember he has not criticized Trump for doing that. It is.
He has been strategically silent.
It's deliberate. I did a TV interview on it in which everybody was saying, this is your sovereignty being encroached upon. But he's silent. Which means, well, I know Trump will collect his money back secretly. He's a transactional leader. I mean, the materials will run into millions of dollars that he used. You and I will not know when the Tinubu government pays for that. But he will collect his money.
Is Trump done with Nigeria?
We don't know that. We don't know that because he may strike again.
What does he want?
He wants resources. By now, they'll be behind the door negotiations that you and I are not aware.
Nigerians are saying he can come take it. That even our leaders have not used the resources for the benefit of the people.
Well, that is one argument which raises suffering. Call this sovereignty. Sovereignty against sovereignty. So if people are suffering, do they care about sovereignty? Which is exactly what you are saying. That if you are not using the resources to solve the issues of poverty, what does it matter? Some people are saying, don't let us talk about the sovereignty argument. Let us talk about the crisis, the insecurity, and the suffering, which are two separate arguments.
Will bombing Sokoto solve the problem of banditry? Because they are still hitting, they are everywhere.
Oh, and they demonstrated their capacity just a few days ago. Just going to an open market, killed 35, 36 people, and carried the rest away. So it has not solved the problem. So we are not party to what the federal government and the US government are talking about, because this will be security of confidential nature.
Is Trump interested in 2027 election in Nigeria?
I don't see the evidence, but I hear the gossip.
What do you hear?
The gossip coming from different sectors. One, first of all, there is a rumor of the coup. And the rumor of the coup, people are saying there is a Chinese that leaked it. I have no evidence. That's why I'm calling it a rumor that he will have been dead on October 1st. That's a gossip. That coup was intended to assassinate him. I have no evidence. That's just a gossip. But they keep telling us the investigation is ongoing. And they've released names, including that of a former governor, a minister. But they have not told us anything. And we don't know the conclusion. And there is a Biafran wing that also formed the lobby saying, Trump, come. That aspect is there. And we do not know. Members of the caliphate are also not happy with Tinubu. And they have made it clear that they are not happy with him because of the nature of appointments, because he's a monopolist that does not like to share power. He wants to concentrate power, which is a gossip about removing Shetima. And if you look at the duties in Lagos, there are two major sources of revenues: customs in Lagos and oil in Niger Delta. Anchored to the NNPC, the North is saying that they are being controlled by Yoruba people.
But they controlled it in Buhari's time.
But in politics, you don't talk about the past. You talk about what you are losing at the moment. And they say, bear in mind, many Nigerian politicians have no business. They don't. You understand? So when they're out of power, you are also saying they should become broke. And they are not going to accept being broke.
You just talked about the Biafran lobbyists. Who are these people?
Well, but they have never gone away. The most articulate is Kano. Who is very clear? Kano is very clear. It's an insurgency. So you have the Niger Delta insurgency. You have the Ududua Republic insurgency. You have the Fulani insurgency. And people have said, why focus on him? Why just focus on Kanu if there are other people? Why are you kind to the Niger Delta insurgents and you're not kind to him? Why do you call for the integration of Boko Haram elements into the army and police? That they're basically doing the same thing. Why do you focus on him? That's one. Because he doesn't speak for himself, remember. He speaks for a larger number of people. You may not agree with his rhetoric, you may disagree with his style, but he's not just speaking for himself. So, the Civil War ended, but it doesn't mean that the idea has ended. The idea has never ended. To those who did not suffer from that war, they don't understand trauma and memory. Because it's the only region in Nigeria that underwent that trauma. And you have to be fair to them. They remain traumatized. And what that war said is, look, we don't know whether they're going to kill us again. They are not giving us presidential power, and they are making us second-class citizens. So they have to create pressure groups. And part of that pressure group is not just domestic, it's also manifested in other countries.
It's international.
Yes, the lobby. They are part of the lobby that says Muslims are persecuting us, which is not new. You could say the same thing.
Yes, if you even read that declaration.
He said it, that this is genocide. So, the number we may be exaggerating, the effect may be exaggerating, but you have to include them among the lobby talking to American Christian fundamentalists.
And now that Trump has come, will he help them?
So there's a joke. If he wants to help them, why can't he give them asylum? Why is he giving Afrikaner asylum in South Africa? So they say, if you love the Christians a lot, why don't you say 1 million? I will let you live in US. So some people are criticizing him for that. But as I said previously, you have to also look at his domestic politics, in which Christian fundamentalists are also part of MAGA. So it's a base that he also has to satisfy.
Do you see the U.S. government supporting a Christian presidential candidate in the 2027 election?
They may not frame it that way. They may not frame it that way. Remember, Jonathan is of the belief that the U.S. government was part of those who made it possible for him to lose power.
He's not happy with Obama.
Yes. He said it. Some people say they have the proof. Some people say they don't have the proof. But for a transactional politician like Tinubu, that game may be very complex. Because like both of Trump and Tinubu are dealers. These are political dealers. Very astute in their game. Because the way Tinubu may say, Mr. Trump, what do you want? And as a transactional politician, he can give it. So, Tinubu is not like Buhari. Buhari may be a bad manager, but he wasn't as transactional as Tinubu. Tinubu is the kind of president, do you want gold in Samfara? Let's talk about it. And that's how transactional politicians behave.
And Trump likes that.
Yeah, both of them share that in common.
Nicolas Maduro did not understand him.
he did, but because, you know, he kept saying, let us reduce the price of petrol. Let's negotiate. But he wanted more. He wanted to take over the entire thing.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
What's your take on that interview with Tony Falola, a renowned historian? You can call the radio station on 07069493000 and 07014475770. So those are the numbers to call to join the discourse here. Let's look at more headlines. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, my name is Adekola Adeyemo, speaking from Ibadan here. My whole contribution, the little thing I want to say is about the death of Bola Ige. You see, I think the government of the day at that time, led by Obasanjo, they are also culprit. Because there was an attempt to invite the Israeli to come and examine the height of Bola Ige there. They say if they do that, they'll be able to recognize the image he saw last. By that, they'll be able to track down the person that shot him, that killed him. By that, they'll be able to trace all those who are involved. So they jettisoned that idea. I was shocked to my bone mind to hear that federal government at that time, the government led by Obasanjo at that time, jettisoned that idea.
Where did you?
So Obasanjo is a culprit.
Hello.
Yes, I'm listening. Hello, I'm with you.
Where did you get your information from?
That information came at that year. Now, that year when the thing happened. Ask Baba, the former governor that spoke with you. When you have me, we give you that information. Maybe he forgot.
No, where did you get your own? Where did you get your own information from?
I say I got it from him. I got that information through Chief Bisi Akande at that time.
Please, who is speaking?
That's what I'm saying. My name is Adekola Adeyemo.
And how did you get it? Was it in a meeting with Chief Akande?
No, not in a meeting. They also mentioned it. That they were to engage the Israeli at that time. That was what they said, that they were to engage the Israeli at that time. But they jettisoned that idea. And I asked, why would they want to engage the Israeli? They said they have a way of examining the eye of the dead fresh at that time. They will examine the eye and they were able to discover the image the man saw last before he was shot. But they jettisoned that idea. I don't know why.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, that sounds like voodoo. But again, I thought, I've heard many stories that even in Nigeria, there are people who can wake up the dead. They will wake up the dead and say, who killed you? And they will say, this person killed me, and the person will go. They say it happens around Oyo now. Who told me that story, Seth? And the person was so serious about it that I seriously listened. I didn't doubt it. I said, if that happens, then why are we wasting our time sending policemen everywhere? Bring the guy, put them in we have one of the best investigative departments in the world. We turn it to science. Because instead of going to Israel now, we have it in Oyo. What is the value of all this voodoo? So I asked the person, is there a formula? Can we teach the next generation so that they will know how to carry out the investigation? When you wake up the dead and ask who killed you, and the dead will answer and then die again, that means you have woken up the dead. That is technology too. Okay. But again, Jelili Adesina said FBI came. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States. Why not CIA? Because it's international. Or do you need to call Mossad or anybody to investigate? Mystery. The mystery of the death of Bola Ige. Baba Bisi Akande. Okay. But so let's play this Baba Bisi Akande's interview where he talks about Fasomi. Let's look at the politics before the death of Bola Ige. He talks about Fasomi told me. What did he tell him?
In the plane, we were in the same plane coming back to Lagos from Kaduna in Shashangi, and I knew Adebanjo and Olaniwa Ajayi were talking animatedly with Baba Fasami. So when we arrived in Ikeja, Fasami requested me to carry him to Dr. Otegbeye's place. So on our way, he said, BC, it appears these people will not be supporting Bola's ambition. I said, what do you say? He said, what do you see? Yeah, he said, they told him that he told them at the lobby, at the secret lobby, that he was ambitious to becoming the president of the, and they felt it would be too difficult for them to control, and they would not be ready to support him. Fasami told me that.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Fasami told me that. And that caller said Baba Konde told him. Okay? Let's hear Baba Konde again. Baba is 87 now. He talks about trust. He talks about Obasanjo.
You said in your book, I knew Obasanjo to be a faithless suitor and an unblinking philanderer on the political field. You trust him at your own peril. You wrote that?
Yes, I do.
Did Bola Ige trust Obasanjo at his own peril?
I would say so, if he ever trusted him.
Did he ever trust him?
I mean, since he was resigning from his government, I think he stopped trusting him.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Hello, good morning, Edwin.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm Ibrahim Agunbiadi. You see, I joined the program lately. In the 90s, I would say that Nigeria may not up to the standard of technological advancement that can capture murderer, assassin easily. Well, in the life today, if you have attained the level of even state honorable, not to talk of a senator, federal honorable, including our governors, I think they should put their life, they should prioritize it. Whenever they are in an unsafe place, they should know that not the mopo, the policemen behind them, beside them, secure them at that time. They should be the first person to secure their life. In the life today, ordinary spec can capture, if our phone can capture the last person that took it from us, I think their glasses should be able to do that for them. In the level of technology of today, for a far away, at least a kilometer, even not a close by attack, you can easily grab the person who is attacking you. That's my part. You made mention of one interview in Oyo that someone granted you. That can never happen. It has never existed. But it is written in the scripture actually that at the end of the time, someone will come. They call it Antichrist. We call it Dajjal. When he arrived, what will be his mission? The power is there with him. He will be convincing some people that the death of their father, he should take him to the burial, and he will wake the person up, asking him, who killed you? And the person will talk. That is only written in the scripture. It can never happen in this life, except the prophecy that has been written that will happen occur at the last time of the end of the life. So, thank you for giving me the audience.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Alaji.
Aha, thank you, Edmund. I've been listening from inception this morning. But one thing I want to tell you, if you can please carefully listen, I know you are very, very intelligent and you will understand what I'm saying. Those who killed Bolage, almost all of them, if not all of them, are dead today. But one thing I know is this: the very day I knew the source of his death was the very the time I remember when Obasanjo visited Oyo State as a president. The Liberty Stadium was so full that all the possible entrances were not reachable. I was there. I couldn't pass in. We had to went to the popular side. We were there in the sun there when suddenly Shibola entered the stadium. And you can look at the tumultuous welcome. He all around, and the Obasanjo was there. That was the Ibadan people started, okay, I don't know what they call it. Lamadisha was the governor that day. That popularity of that day of Bola Ige meant something to the incumbency. Now, after his death, the president came to commiserate with us, and our Professor Wole Soyinka, I was not at Liberty Stadium. I was watching it through the screen of my television. He said, "They are here. They have come to commiserate with us. Those who killed Bola Ige are here." And the television man focuses his screen on somebody. And I saw I said, these people. Well, the rest is story. But even those who knew about it, some of them are dead. The people who went to carry out the operation, almost all of them are dead today. Look, if you want to doubt
do you know them?
I will tell you where to go.
Hello, Baba.
And that person will tell you.
Alaji.
Yeah.
The way you are talking as if, do you know the people?
Edmund, you are a young man. You are very young. I'm an old man. Jesus talk in parable. You should understand what I'm saying. I will not even mention a name to you, but they are almost all dead now. Those who, even those who shot, who enter his house and shot, they are almost all dead. You see, let me tell you, the government that know that it is possible to investigate, and those who they have to go and they mention them. They were the one eliminating them. That's what I'm telling you. That very government, that very people who send them to go and kill Boyagi, were the one who said about the pursuing them and eliminating them one by one. Thank you. I won't say more than that. I am Alhaji Chief Sulaiman Oladepo Omobola and Wolowo Segi and Lamori Jajogun on our local government. We will know you specifically. Thank you, Edmund.
How is Onara?
Onara is fine. We are not bad.
How is your road? Have they fixed your road?
They are fixing. They are working on it. They are working on it.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm happy. I am happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. They are trying their best.
Okay.
Only I want them to make it faster. If by the way they are extending the road, they can do it to reach the boundary of Ogun. Yes, I will say Oyo State government, they have done something. But if they are doing it the way of abandoning it, I won't pray for them. They should execute it and finish it and complete it in time, in record time.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. You know, in criminal matters, you don't use hearsay. Everybody seems to be analyzing. If you listen to Chief Bolarewan, you think he has something to tell us that he's not telling us. You know, and then he couched it in age. Baba will also grow though. Okay. All right. The lines are open. Call the radio station on the front page of the Saturday Tribune. Olubadan visits Tinubu, tax president on insecurity, food crisis. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Salam alaikum.
Did he say salam alaikum? Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. Court halts PDP case pending appeal court decision. Court halts PDP case pending appeal court decision. On the front page of the Tribune.
Hello.
Good morning.
Again, Saturday morning. Now, I want to cover our primitive way of life, in terms of security in country. Few days ago, in Kaduna, Joshua, the police, the government could not even identify that something took place. They cannot even say that we are watching the situation, we are doing surveillance. They took to that nothing like that happened in this 21st century. And later, after 2 days, they agreed that, okay, some people were adopted. How do we move from this primitive and wickedness when science and technology has made life so easy? So are we still expecting God to send agents to come and do the right thing for us? It's almost unfortunate. So it can be quoted that Nigerian development is tied to our human wickedness. And that is very difficult to, the mindset, if not actually work up, it's very difficult. That development for Nigeria, for this country, is still very far reach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sado Imodagbe. Sado Imodagbe. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Deborah from Ibadan. I was told knowledge is power. But in an inspired nation, knowledge has become foolishness. When people who are well learned are just being told to and fro, walking roundabout in their own nation, not having the capacity to turn every situation right, I think something is wrong with that country. What am I saying? What is the benefit of us having so many people in the Senate spending so much on them without any tangible results? I've been saying it from the foundation of Nigeria. It is very, very weak. And we know what we are passing through. For almost 20 or 30 years now, we have been concentrating on the northern governments. They will not do anything tangible for their children. And it is affecting the majority of this country. The boundary will be released at random. Insecurity, and Governor Sanusi told them that they are sitting on gunpowder. It has exploded now. It's affecting every set of the country. Is it how we will continue from Fulani man to insurgency to bandits to everything? Is that what we use the rest of our life to solve in this country, Nigeria? let's call a spade a spade. If you don't train your children well, when the result comes, you should bear the burden and not extend it to other territory. Let's go back to the regions. If we want, let the region take care of their own children. Though as you lay your bed, so you rely on it. You cannot continue to work without to pay for. Gold was started in Lagos. They were shouting. Most of the mining of gold in abundance in the north. Who is mining it? What are they saying there? What are they saying there? But when it comes to Lagos side, they will be blaspheming. We are not truly one. And people are saying that the unity of Nigeria is not. It's very, very negotiable. We are not born together. We are being joined together. Let's go back to our regions and fix our own destiny. God will heal our land.
Thank you. Thank you. I like the way we believe so much in God. I like it. You know, after she said everything, she ended it with God will heal our land. I wish her well. Good morning.
Ola Fabumi, I'm calling.
Hello. And that call was clear. Okay. Bandits attacking Christians to provoke anger. Northern Khan chairman. You find that story on the front page of the Sunday Tribune. Olubadan visits Tinubu, tax president on insecurity, food crisis. Kanu governor resigns from NNPP. Says decision is to protect Kanu people. Makinde says resurgent PDP will shock cynics in 2027. Court adjourns Rivers impeachment suit indefinitely. My husband slept with her lovers in our bed. Broke my nose for complaining about a woman tells court. You can imagine. Can imagine that. And if he did that, I hope that magistrate is strong enough. My husband slept with her lovers in our bed. Broke my nose for complaining about a woman tells court. All right. We've not heard from the man anyway. Survivors' eyewitnesses tell tales of horror. I was captured, brutalized, but I miraculously escaped. Village heard. You find that story on the front page of the Saturday Sun. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello, are you hearing me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. My name is Edward Sorensen from Ringwood. Are you hearing me?
Make your point.
My point is this. The only solution to the existence of Nigeria is creating more equal states in the south with the north. If that is done, each state will generate electricity from itself, do certain things, then we have the same there so that it can contribute to that place. Otherwise, it will be difficult for Nigerians to get better. That's my point.
Thank you for calling. Now let me remind you of the words of the wise one. It is popularly supposed that a greater prosperity for individuals or nations can only come through a political and social reconstruction. This cannot be true apart from the practice of the moral virtues in the individuals that comprise the nation. He says better laws and social conditions will always follow a higher realization of morality among the individuals of a community. But no legal enactment can give prosperity to, nay, it cannot prevent the ruin of a man or a nation that has become lax and decadent in the pursuit and practice of virtue. Did you get that point? Did you get that point? Let me break it down. You see, we stand at a crossroads of history, surrounded by blueprints for political reform, economic stimulus, and social restructuring. You know, towards every election, everybody's saying electoral reforms, and we reform it, and the next election becomes worse than the past. Oh, constitutional change. If we move from moving electricity from the exclusive lease to the concurrent lease, there will be power everywhere. We have done that. We are still struggling. That is why the wise one says that better laws and social conditions will always follow a higher realization of morality among the individuals of a community, but no legal enactment can give prosperity to, nay, it cannot prevent the ruin of a man or a nation that has become lax and decadent in the pursuit and practice of virtue. Let me break it down. The clamor for change is deafening, promising a new system, a new law, a new leader will pave the road to national prosperity. This popular belief is an inversion of truth. Fellow countrymen and women, lasting greatness for a nation is not forged first in the halls of legislature, but in the quiet conscience of its citizens. If you take a criminally minded legislator or you vote a criminally minded man to the National Assembly, they will pass criminally intentioned laws. And you will say, yes, reform has been created. They will leave loopholes. Oh, after the electoral reform of 2022, 2023, the 2023 election was going to be super, but they will leave loopholes. You have celebrated the reform, you have celebrated BVN, but you see the loopholes. And when you go to court, they will capitalize on the loopholes that was deliberately left there. True nation building is not an architectural project of external structures, but the spiritual and moral excavation of good virtues. It is from those good virtues that you can now write good laws. Those who will write laws that will bring prosperity must come to equity with clean hands. Clean hands is not to be faultless. Clean hands is to think in the interest of the common good. So if you elect criminally minded people, they will create reforms in their own interest. And yet, you will celebrate the reforms. Oh, a new electoral act, and will clap for them. It is an illusion to assume that we can legislate prosperity into existence in a society of high moral decadence. Because if the police is criminally minded, he will use the law against you. to punish you, to deal with you. He will find loopholes to jail you. We must lift our minds. Better laws and social conditions will always follow a higher realization of morality among the individuals of a community. Be the example of the leadership you want. If you want goodness, be good. The kind of leadership we produce is also a product of the collective mindset of Nigerians. The kind of leaders we produce, it's also a collective mindset of the Nigerian. The collective mindset of Nigerians. A people deserve the kind of leadership they get. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Pillow. Stay tuned, stay cool.
State Affairs with Edmondo Pillow is live.
Splash FM 105.5.
Why did you title your column "Till Death Do Us Part"?
I just thought we've come to the end of the road. I mean, as far as I was concerned at that time, it's only death that could separate me from what I was writing, from my condemnation, and from the agony that I was going through about Nigeria. And I wrote "Till Death Do Us Part." So, challenging or daring Obasanjo or daring anybody, Shagari, to come and take me and take my life.
From your writing, it is clear you are not scared of death.
Certainly not, never. But I'm scared of kidnappers.
Why are you scared of kidnappers?
Because it's saddening when 16-year-old, 17-year-old, unwashed, unkempt hooligans, keep you captive and they torture you and humiliate you. I detest humiliation.
The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Pillow. My guest is the author of the book, Dotun Oyelade Reporting, Memoirs of a News Hound. Dotun Oyelade is the Executive Chairman, Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Mr. Oyelade, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
You have written a book that led me to asking myself, what is it about media power that rattles members of the political class? The story of Unlunloyo, as narrated by you here, talks about media power. So what is it about media power?
Well, I think just like the blurb of my book indicates, I quoted a particular powerful author there that says, a playwright really, of all those arts in which the wise excel, nature's chief masterpiece is writing well. Those who cobble that popular adage that the pen is mightier than the gun did not make a mistake. It is a veritable truth. a veritable truism. You see, the power of the pen, the power of the media, when employed and deployed effectively, meets its own match nowhere else. It is the most sustainable and the most powerful instrument of change in the world. The media, over time, in all spheres of human endeavor, in all countries, have proven to be the redeemer of systems. I give you an example. Between 1980 and 1981, during the Falkland War between Britain and Argentina, the decisive blow that made Britain, under Thatcher then, to win the war, the Falkland War, was the effective decoy, propaganda, and helpful disinformation which the British media employed.
Did you say disinformation?
Oh yes, this is debatable, but to me, every propaganda has elements of disinformation. So yes, I did say disinformation because the media can be used in connivance with government to bail itself out. Government can use the media to bail itself out of troubles.
That we have to be transported to Alagban. That I knew that he was in the same police cell with me after about 5 days. Then we got to Alagban. They separated us again. They put us in different cells. Alagban is where we saw hell. We don't even know the number, the day, the hours of the day. We don't know whether it is night or afternoon.
When you say you saw hell, what happened?
We are locked in a dungeon cell where we don't see, there is no light, nothing. That I'm having problem in my eyes up to today because of that trauma. It was a hell.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Were you happy he did not win?
Oh, I was unhappy because I know since he didn't win, I know the man who won would never win.
You were sure Falaye was not going to win?
Oh, yes. I knew there's no way Falaye could win. Who knows Falaye?
Who knows Falaye?
Who knows Falaye? What was Falaye? I say it to him in his... What was Falaye? It was Bola Ige who introduced Falaye to us.
So how did you allow Falaye to contest against Bola Ige?
Oh, he is free to contest. I could have contested.
How could he have defeated Bola Ige when nobody knew him?
Look, how he defeated Bola Ige is beyond my control. But he had every right.
That means Bola Ige had opponents within.
Oh, yes. From the leadership, yes.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
So they also read the letter. So it was after Uncle was killed that the letter was found in his room in Abuja. I don't think he ever, I don't know whether he submitted one copy to Obasanjo or not. But a copy of the letter was found in his room.
Do you think somebody saw that letter and that has implications?
I don't think so. I think, well, I don't know. Let me just say that the death of Uncle Bola was a very dark chapter for all of us. It's as if we became orphaned, those of us who were very close to him.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Umishore could not help you.
He was the deputy governor, was a suspect. He couldn't even reach us. Who is he to help us? When is the problem? When he was in problem? It was after his tenure expired or they did kangaroo impeachment that he was arrested. After we were spent about 1 year in cell. Why now we have already been moved to Agodi Chat to court before Omishore was arrested.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
You said Ige finally agreed to serve when he was given the go-ahead by our movement, Afenifere, yes, and our party, the Alliance for Democracy, yes, AD. Yeah. It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death, you wrote. Yeah. It was late before he realized it was a kiss of death.
When he did, I said so because one evening he just called me and said, I'm going to resign from this government tomorrow. It was sudden. And I said, please, sir, I will come back to you. And I called Oluwalero Timi. I called him. I said, this is what your friend told me, that he was going to resign from Obasanjo's government tomorrow. He asked me to advise him not to resign. If he does, he's likely going to die.
He said that?
He said that to me on phone.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Jalili Adesina, former Minister of Police Affairs, is on State Affairs. Let's listen to his story. Did you meet Frayo before the murder of Bola Ige?
I never knew him.
So at what point did you meet him?
At detention.
Were you in the same cell?
No, we were not. He was brought about 3 months after we were being in police custody.
You were in police custody for how long?
Totally about 10 months.
Which of the police stations?
First at the Adeniji Adele.
In Lagos?
In Lagos.
So at what point were you moved from Osogbo?
We were in Osogbo for about 5 days. I was in Idiaro police station in Osogbo for 5 days. I think Kule Alao is in another cell for 5 days. And it was the two of us that they first, arrested. And they moved us, 5 days after they moved us to Adeniji Adele in Lagos. And we were in Adele for about a week. We didn't stay in the same cell anyway. We only knew that we were in the same police custody when we were about to be moved to another cell. It was when he came out that we have to be transported to Alagban that I knew that he was in the same police cell with me after about 5 days. Then we got to Alagban. They separated us again. They put us in different cells. Alagban is where we saw hell. We don't even know the number, the day, the hours of the day. We don't know whether it is night or afternoon.
When you say you saw hell, what happened?
We were locked in a dungeon cell where we don't see, there is no light, nothing. I'm having problem in my eyes up to today because of that trauma. It was a hell.
Omishore could not help you.
He was the deputy governor, was a suspect. He couldn't even reach us. Who is it to help us? When is the problem? When he was in problem? It was after his tenure expire or they did kangaroo impeachment that he was arrested after we were spent about 1 year in cell. We have already been moved to Agodi Chat to court before Omishore was arrested.
What was those years like for you?
It was a hell. I never wanted to remember it.
Were you praying? Did you pray? Did you call on Bola Ige to see you?
I pray to God. And each time I'm praying, I will start by first of all saying that if I ever knew anything about the death of Uncle Bola, or anybody for that matter, I will not come out of this alive. And at a point, my wife was arrested again, rearrested again and brought to Alagman.
Why?
They just for interrogation. It is me and my wife. And Lele, those are the three people among the political associates of Omishore that face hell, and Alani Omishore and that chairman of Ife East is dead now. So it was a thing we will never remember. So when I see them year in year out, when they want to celebrate the passing of Uncle Bola, I think it was at 23rd of every December, and they call me and they are still referring to me. I cursed them. I won't lie.
You were eventually discharged and acquitted.
Yes, because there's nothing to link. There's no nexus that connects us with the death of Uncle Bola. People don't know that at the time they brought in FBI from United States to come and interrogate us. They interrogated us and gave us a clean slate. FBI.
White guys?
Yeah, Federal Bureau of Investigation from New York.
So Obasanjo investigated.
Yeah, to the point that there was a lot of pressure on him. Sometimes I pity him. Sometimes I don't pity him.
Why?
Because he has to stand to truth.
Why did you pity him?
I pity him because there were a lot of pressure. Because me, as far as myself is concerned, it was a case of armed robbery, pure and simple. And those armed robbers were later gunned down on that road. 3 of them, and exhibited. It was in all the newspaper, but they are prosecuting the wrong people. They don't want the people to know.
Can it be armed robbery?
Yeah, it was armed robbery. You can see. How can an assassin come into the house and steal 300,000, burgundy toothpaste, all these things?
Look at how it happened. I hope his security details all disappeared.
Who are the security? Only 2 of them are security detail. I'm telling you as a victim. Because we were all arraigned in court together. It's only the SS man and the ADC, who was a policeman, the SS man. Those are the 2 security. There's no other security. The rest are those who are domestic staff.
But they were policemen who were stationed there.
There was no policemen. Only those 2 policemen that were brought from housing. And they are recruits. They don't even have guns. Unfortunately, they even left.
Everybody left.
They left. They didn't even come for work that day. But Uncle was billed to travel to Esauke. And we were to meet him in Esauke on the 26th of December.
Was the security around Bola weak?
Uncle Bola doesn't want security. You can see they are arranging their own personnel. You can see it from the statement of Muyiwaige that they are bringing one Bosun, one Dixon, one Kineka to come and provide local security for Uncle Bola. Why? Uncle Bola can move the whole of policemen in Ibadan with him anytime he wanted. But he doesn't choose that way. He does not choose that way. He wants to live a private life. When they say, all the security forces, they went to go and who are the security? Only 2. The rest are domestic staff. A PRO from Ministry of Justice, his old driver, who was old, then a driver from Ministry of Justice, and the SS man, who was the chief detail, and the ADC who always sit as a policeman beside him. Only 2 of them are armed. And they kept their ammunition at home when Uncle Bola instructed them to go and eat. You saw it here. He said you have to wait and take so back to Ring Road before you go to eat. Why should they go and eat? As I'm speaking to you today, all my domestic staff, security, drivers, and everybody, they eat 3 times in my house. They eat 3 times in my house. My house cannot be porous. It's a lesson. Look at this government. They have all the security. Who are the security? Only 2 are security men.
At some point there was this suspicion even around Obasanjo.
Yes, that's why I said I pity him. And he has no control over what is happening. I called the Afenifere to be investigated.
Bisi Akonde said it was state murder.
Well, that is his belief. You know, everybody has their own belief.
He wrote in it in his book?
Yes.
I interviewed.
Yes. I saw him and I credit him for recanting that those of us that were prosecuted were wrongly prosecuted. I saw his interview with you and I will always give in to him. To err is human. To forgive is divine.
But he pointed finger at something. Government killed Bola Ige.
That is his own belief. I'm not here to defend the government. I'm only telling you what I felt. That these armed robbers, the people in that area are still alive. Go there and investigate and confirm whether what I'm telling you is right or wrong. I said those people were later killed in front of that road. What do you call that? That road? No, that crescent. At the crescent. They were killed in front of, at the gate. Because by the time they came to operate again, they have mobilized securities. They saw up security in that area because they are troubling them. They lock all the adjacent gate. That was the time they went to rob one colonel in that axis again. By the time they were rushing back, the colonel had alerted the police and they lay ambush for them. They closed the gate and they shot them. I had their picture in the front of the Sun newspaper. I still kept them in my house.
So to you, it wasn't political murder?
It was not. It was like a pure armed robbery. It was because Uncle Bola was killed cheaply. It was a pure armed robbery.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
The program is State Affairs. I am Edmondo Bilo. My guest is the author of the book, Dotun Oyelade Reporting, Memoirs of a News Hound. Dotun Oyelade is the Executive Chairman, Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Mr. Oyelade, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
You have written a book that led me to asking myself, what is it about media power that rattles members of the political class? The story of Unlunloyo, as narrated by you here, talks about media power. So what is it about media power?
Well, I think just like the blurb of my book indicates, I quoted a particular powerful author there that says, a playwright really, of all those arts in which the wise excel, nature's chief masterpiece is writing well. Those who cobble that popular adage that the pen is mightier than the gun did not make a mistake. It is a veritable truth, a veritable truism. You see, the power of the pen, the power of the media, when employed and deployed effectively, meets its own match nowhere else. It is the most sustainable and the most powerful instrument of change in the world. The media, over time, in all spheres of human endeavor, in all countries, have proven to be the redeemer of systems. I give you an example. Between 1980 and 1981, during the Falkland War between Britain and Argentina, the decisive blow that made Britain, under Thatcher then, to win the war, the Falkland War, was the effective decoy, propaganda, and helpful disinformation which the British media employed.
Did you say disinformation?
Oh, yes. This is debatable. But to me, every propaganda has elements of disinformation. So, yes, I did say disinformation because the media can be used in connivance with government to bail itself out. Government can use the media to bail itself out of troubles, which willingly or inadvertently every government runs into every now and then. Look at the Daily Mail in England as I talk to you. A veritable supporter of the Conservatives. It got to a point where not even the Daily Mail could help because of the torrents and tumbling sequence of fiscal and political mistakes that Liz Truss is making. To answer your question, yes, the media power, as you put it, is not a mirage. It is a reality.
So how did Dotun Yelade and TSOS in the Second Republic under Bola Ige deploy television to annoy the MPN?
Well, the story of the television service of Oyo State is not a peculiar one, but it can be couched in rebellion. We had the Shehu Shagari administration between 1979 and 1983, and it was widely known that state governments, especially those that were not in the same political tune with the federal government, will be diminished one way or the other. So the television service of Oyo State was established deliberately to counter the powers, the media powers.
Edmondo Below is live.
You listen to that interview with Jalili Adesina. What do you think? We've been talking about Nigeria. So you can call 070-694-99 93000 and 070144 These are the numbers to call. Join the discourse. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Edmond. This is Okonji Patrick from Boulevard area. First, I listened to the man's comments and other comments that have been made. But I want to say that he alluded to the fact that the killers were armed robbers. But I wonder how all the armed robbers were killed. And getting information is also killed. I find it difficult to believe that narrative. And that is that. I want to say generally concerning Nigeria, I came across certain things in some of our scriptures. And I believe that religion is almost like the life of a person, because it has to do with belief, it has to do with conviction, and it therefore takes over the entire life of an individual. So, if in some scriptures, it is evident in some scriptures that people can determine that a person is an unbeliever and should be killed, I mean to say that people, therefore, we should organize ourselves. I'm not saying anybody should not have this belief, but Nigeria should be delineated in such a way that people of such belief should remain in one path and should even become a country of their own. And those who don't share the same belief should be on the other side, instead of these senseless killings that we're having all over the places, and that nobody has the capacity to change, because you can't stop people from their belief. You can't stop people from their belief. As we speak, every day I wake, I'm in fear. I'm in fear because I'm a Christian, and I don't want anybody to come and kill me because I don't believe in whatever they are doing. That's my submission.
Thank you. Thank you for calling the radio station. The lines are open. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Abdullah.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Mr. Charles from Yamato. I've been listening to your program this morning, and I was convinced it's quite educative. I like your program mostly because you go into research and you dig out things that give us a lot of education to continue the good work. God will continue to help you and be with you. You see, Nigeria issue is very, very complex. In the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we had a Nigeria where we were united. Nobody was talking, you are Igbo, you are Hausa, you are Yoruba. But when you get to the country, the politicians, they now divided Nigeria into tribal, religious sentiments. So, because of their desperation, the division came. We are people who love ourselves in the early 70s, 80s, and it is conditions that divided the two. And that thing has stayed with us today. And that is why this thing hinders development in the country. Because when you have a particular side that is ruling, and people are speaking against such government, people will come out and say, it's because this person is not from the tribe, this person is not from him, and it causes a lot of underdevelopment in the country. It should not make the people to address to make the government to address the problems that are in the country. So I don't know how they are going to unite Nigerians again. And that's why to some extent I am supporting this regional government. Because when you have regional government, everybody will know that this place belongs to me, this place belongs to me, this place belongs to me, and they will develop at their own place, and there will not be discrimination. Except we have a situation whereby Nigerians can be united again. That's where this country can move forward. But as the way it is, there is a lot of divisions among the tribes in Nigeria. Then secondly, on Bola case, when I was old enough to listen to news then, and I watched some of those things on TV. You see, everybody knows the prime suspect. We know the people that did all these things. But you know, the country is the kind of country whereby you have to be careful. Just like the case that was happening between Whiskey and Fela's son, where they were blaming Whiskey. Fela is a liberationist. Fela fight for the people. Fela did this. Whiskey was now saying, if you are against a government that can kill you, if you are against a government that can destroy you, why do that? Whiskey said it's going where he can develop the youth, so that the youth can know themselves and liberate themselves from those bad governments. But if it goes ahead and fighting the government directly, they will destroy and destroy what it stands for. So Nigeria is the kind of country you have to be careful when you are dealing with a government. I think you understand. So that's why a lot of people back off from all these things. Everybody knows the people that are responsible for all these things. But they are just very ignorant as if they don't know.
Thank you.
Because when I stand for Awolowo, it's an Awolowo. You understand? And because of that popularity, people were afraid when he come out, they might maybe overthrow them and all that. And that's why they went for him.
Thank
because
you.
I really.
Thank you. As we round off, let me drive home this point. A declaration of equality rings hollow in the hearts riddled with prejudice. Better laws and social conditions will always follow a higher realization of morality among the individuals of a community. Laws are the reflections, not the source of our people's character. A statute against corruption is powerless in a culture that secretly admires the clever thief. No external enactment can save a nation whose internal virtues, integrity, diligence, compassion, responsibility have grown lags. Thus, the mightiest project of nation building is the project of character building. A nation built upon the bedrock of citizen integrity attracts trust and investment. A culture rooted in diligent work ethic generates innovation and abundance. A society bound by mutual respect and compassion creates stability and social cohesion. These are not soft ideas. They are the hard pillars of a strong state. Without them, the wise one warns, we have neither strength, stability, nor substantial reality, but only ephemeral dreams. Economic bubbles burst, political alliance shift, but the character of a people endures. We must be willing to dig, to undertake the well-ordered strenuousness of personal and collective improvement. The ball is in our court. I am Edmondo Pillow. The program is State Affairs, and I'm happy that you are there. The next program is Ijoba Tiwa with Shun Special. It is Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. Thank you. Thank